Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Um, our agency got a call from a sister that's seeking justice, and this is something different, as it is every time that we turn this on. Tonight, we're going to be speaking with a woman, and her sister was killed in 1985. And she'll give you the description and the details, and we'll pull up some information about it. And there's even more that she has. But her family has been experiencing something that's very difficult to explain, so it's better to just be explained all the way through. And that's why we've created this platform and this space for people. You know, um, our world needs more mercy. It needs a safe place for other people to share their voice. And in the process of that, everybody's always going to have something to say. And we respect that, so we don't even chime in. But we're with a lady named Karen today, and she's seeking justice, as we said, for her family member, her sister, her older sister. And Karen, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. So listen, this is your opportunity to seek justice, and we're going to have you start from the beginning. But to let everyone know, this case is considered a cold case from 1985. But the reality is, we know who the murderer is, and there's evidence in an audio recording of the individual admitting her guilt. Um, and I guess that's up to the judge and the jury and the prosecutors and the courts. But this is an opportunity for Karen to explain it from day one. So, Karen, without further ado, this is your space. Please start. Tell us what's going down.
Yes. December the 6th, 1985, my sister was brutally murdered. And I never could figure out how she got killed and what went on. So I started investigating the case myself. And after getting all the information I needed and getting everything together and seeking lawyers and investigators and help from the Columbus Police Department and not getting nowhere, I decided to investigate the case myself. And after investigating the case, I came up with evidence that my sister was murdered. So I called the police department to talk to them, and no one would never talk to me. They gave me a cold case detective that won't talk to me. I had a couple of detectives come out to my house to listen to my new evidence after 20 something years. And me and family members and friends. Uh,
So, at this point, let's just rewrap for a second, okay?
okay.
And circle back.
Okay.
Your sister was murdered in 1985. How
Yes.
long was it before you started to get legal counsel and do your own investigation, if you will?
I started it in like 1987 seeking and never found nothing. And in 2001 excuse me, I decided to just go all the way, and that's when I found out all my information.
So you said 2007.
2001 is when I started obtaining information that let me know my sister was murdered.
So nearly, how long ago was that after the murder? Then would you say in years?
That was like 85. You figure 87, you figure 2006. That was like about 10 years later, about 15, about 10 years later.
Yeah, 15,
I've
17
been
years later.
investigating this case for 27 years.
And what information? So now let's come to this point again. You said everything was really cold and you didn't get any closure to the situation.
No, I
And
didn't
then you
get
started
no.
doing an investigation, and then 15 years later, in 2001, you got some information. What was that
Right.
information? Tell us about that.
The information is a tape confession of the girl that killed my sister, telling how she killed my sister.
So there's an actual audio recording of
Yes,
of the girl who killed your sister
yes,
admitting to the murder.
yes.
Okay. What did you do after you got that tape?
I called down to the police department. Well, before I called the police department, I started trying to go through investigators and lawyers and stuff. And then I finally called the Columbus Police Department and told them I had new evidence because I never knew what a no bill was. And they said it was not enough evidence. So I told them I had new evidence. And they said, what type of evidence do you have? And I told them I had the suspect on tape committing to the murder, telling how she killed my sister. And they said, you do? And I told them yes. And they said, we're going to make an appointment, come out to your house and talk to you and compare information and notes.
Okay.
So Sergeant Pilia and Detective Justice, I believe it was, came out to my house. I lived at 2861 East 11th Avenue. They came out to my house. I got the dates, but I don't have it right here in front of me. And I had
Mm-hmm.
family and friends over so we can compare the information. And once they came in, they never compared no information. Now that I think about it, they listened to the tape, and Sergeant asked me with everyone there, family and friends, where did I get my information from? And I told him I got it from public records downtown. And he told me, he said, I don't know what good Samaritan gave you this tape, but we just gonna say your sister was bigger than her and leave it at that. And he left. He left. And
So
next thing I know, the
did he
tapes aren't
take any evidence?
available.
Did he take any evidence with you? With him? I'm sorry. When he left.
Nope. Nope, he didn't take anything with him, but he did write up a summary. Said he came out to my house and talked to me, and that he was going to close the case. And but he never said why he came out to my house. And the only reason why he came to my house is because I had information. But now the
Mm-hmm.
information is not available to me no more. I cannot go downtown and get the tape, the cassettes. I cannot get nothing no more from the police department except paperwork.
Why is
But I
that?
do have. I don't know why he did that. But that's it's like it's tell of the whole murder. It tell of a murder. It tell how that girl committed murder and killed my sister. And for him to hear that tape and not even care or do his job or even think twice about it, I just felt the need to keep going on and on and on. Because for some reason, I feel like justice should be done. Somebody should look into the case. Somebody should want to help and know why we feel the way
So
we
he
feel
said,
after.
let's put it, I understand. And
Okay.
let's put it like this. He said, let's just say that your sister was bigger than her.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's go to the autopsy then. Did
Okay.
the girl and the other girl was questioned, obviously, because they knew who did it,
Right.
correct? And
Right.
when she was investigated, did she have any wounds on her from a fight or anything?
No, she had a bump on her head that the medic said required no attention.
Okay.
And
And in regards to your sister's autopsy, what were
yes,
the findings on her autopsy?
uh, the findings on her autopsy was, wait a minute. I'm sorry, okay?
Okay.
The findings on her autopsy was, you talking about the stab wounds or the homicide?
You can say all of it.
Okay. Well, the Franklin County Coroner Office ruled it a homicide, saying it was a stab wound to the neck. On the
So it was
general
ruled a
report,
homicide
yes.
by a forensic scientist, if you will,
Yeah, it was ruled a
a
homicide.
pathologist, expert.
Yes, by yes, by William R. Adrian.
Okay. And he's from the coroner's?
Yes, he's from the coroner's office.
Okay. So it was ruled a homicide.
Yes,
You have the evidence, and they
yes.
come to your house. And now what happens? Go ahead with what you're getting to with your descriptions here.
Well, it was ruled a homicide, and my main thing was I wanted to know how how my sister was stabbed 3 times and then her neck was about decapitated. For it to be ruled a homicide, y'all not look into it and then try to say it was an act of self-defense. So when I pulled the tape out and asked them to listen to it, everything done changed now. I can't get no information. They cuts me down. I went to a homicide class down there about 2 months ago down at 120 Boulevard, Marconi Boulevard in Columbus, Ohio. And I talked with the commander, a couple of cold case detectives and everything. They said they would look into it and talk to me and was going to give me a cold case detective. They gave me a cold case detective, but after he talked to the Sergeant Pilia, he don't talk to me no more either.
So they just stopped looking into it.
Hmm. I asked them, I went down there and tried to get some more information and wasn't nothing available to me. So I asked them where was the tapes that I've been getting for the last 15, 20 years. And the sergeant said, tell her they've been burned.
So when you reach back out to the police about the evidence that they're supposed to be holding and archiving in regards to a homicide, that you reaching out asking them about it and someone told you and said they're tell them they're burned.
Yeah, the sergeant that came out to my house. I went down there and actually, well, I went down there and to get another pack because I always would go get the pack. And when I went down there to get a pack after they came out to the house, the tapes wasn't there. And I got a piece of
Yeah.
paper showing that saying the tapes are missing. The cassette tapes no longer are there.
Well, I'm going to bring up a few um, pieces of evidence here for a second, okay?
Okay.
Um, so just bear with me. And
Okay.
we're going to just have this up as evidence for the people, okay?
Okay.
And the documents that you sent me are things that you want to be public about,
Right.
okay?
Yes.
And what are we looking at here?
Right there is where it says self-defense. And you see that guy on there where it say Larry Reese
Yeah.
in '06. He was retired and I had been calling down there for over a year and a half and they never told me that. They just kept letting the voicemail pick up like he
Hmm.
still worked there. And I called one day and I said, can I speak to somebody else? And they gave me the Miss Justice. And I asked her, where is Larry Reese at? And she said, he's been retired. And I said, why y'all still got his voicemail on then? And she was like, is it anything I can help you with? And I started telling her what's going on, that I needed somebody honest. And she said she was
Right.
honest and she was going to come out to the house with her sergeant. And that's who came out to the house.
Hmm. And you said things didn't go well at the house with the family and the officers.
No.
Explain what happened there, I guess.
Well, when he came, well, it's like, I believe my mistake was I didn't have Channel 6 or a news team or somebody there with coverage because after 20 something years, why would y'all come and talk to me when after all this time y'all would never talk to me? Y'all would just shut me down.
Right.
Y'all wouldn't listen to nothing or none of that. Then when I told y'all I had the new evidence, y'all wanted to come and hear what tape I had. Then after you hear the tape, he got upset.
He
I
was
got
mad
I,
after he heard the evidence.
right. I
Is
got
that how your
14.
family felt as well?
Yes, we was hurt because we thought they was really coming to help us. And when he heard the tape, it went a whole nother way. And
Yeah.
ever since then, it's been another way.
And you're seeking justice and
I'm
accountability in this situation.
yes,
Just
And the
a
reason why
fair outside interpretation and investigation into a matter where your family feels justice still needs to be served.
that's right. And like I asked them, I said, how could the case ever been investigated when nobody, they never interviewed nobody, they never went back out after that day. It was an eyewitness that said he seen everything. They never questioned him. And I kind of just figured the reason why they probably didn't question him because he was 17 at the time. And back then you needed a
Right.
parent to talk to a kid. The initial phone call came from next door. It was never from the suspect that killed my sister, even though she called the police. Even though she called the police, she never once told them she had stabbed nobody, that
So,
nobody could be
so
hurt.
someone called the police, the scene of the night of the incident in '85.
Hmm.
Someone called the police that was a neighbor
Right,
that watched it happen.
right.
And what happened with that investigation?
They never questioned them or investigated them. And the only reason why I know is because I got the tapes.
That says a lot, doesn't it?
Yes,
And the person that gave you the tapes obviously feels like justice needs to be served, and this is enough evidence.
right. And that was the Columbus Police Department. Hmm. But now, can't nobody go down there and get nothing on my sister's case except paperwork. And they'll tell you that it's been broken down and it's in there and you can read it, but it's not.
Right. Hmm.
And I believe my sister deserved justice. Not only that, she had her 5-year-old daughter with her.
So the night of the incident,
Yeah, her 5-year-old daughter was with her. And when I spoke to her daughter, which was years later when we was over at the investigator's office, because her daughter won't talk about it, she never read the information or none of that. And everything she said to me in that office that day with the justice team and that investigator, it was like dead on point for what's in my information. You can tell it's just the truth. It's the truth.
and
And on that
the night
tape,
of
can I
that
tell you?
incident, just to cover this, how old was your daughter's daughter that was with her? Your daughter's baby daughter was with her at this incident, right?
Yeah, she was
Witnessed it.
5 years old.
She witnessed it.
Yes, she was
And she
five
was
years
5 years
old.
old.
Yes.
5.
Mm-hmm.
And her testimony from then, even she was interrogated, if you will, questioned about it
Mm-hmm.
at 5. Was that
Mm-hmm.
with any legal counsel or anything of that nature?
I know it was with the Columbus Police Department, and then they told my mom that she was too young to testify.
They told your mom that the child was too young to testify?
Yeah, after they kept talking to her by herself, she said they just kept talking to her, asking her questions. And then at the end of it, my mom wasn't even in there with her. And then they told my mother that she was too young to testify.
Hmm. And you have her statements?
They didn't give me hers. It's a
Okay.
lot of stuff, like it's stuff they say missing.
Right.
Hmm. Even to this day, when the girl see my niece, you know, she walks up on her, she scares her. Even to this day, I don't know why she do that.
So 35 years later, the same girl that murdered your sister is now seeing the daughter who
Yes,
survived that day, and
yes,
she's being stalked whenever she comes
yes.
in any public encounter in the neighborhood, anything
Right,
of that nature, and
right,
is put to feel in danger.
right.
And how so? Give me an example.
Like she went out one night to have her a good time, and the girl was in the bar and stepped to her and asked her, "Don't you remember who I am? I'm Darlene." And you know it instantly, you know. And then
No last names. No last names.
right, right. And then the other, then it was another time she was out with other family members and she
Wait,
did it
just
to her.
to the first for the first time, she's walking up to your older sister's daughter that was 5 at that time, 35 years later, and
Uh-huh.
doing this jazz, walking up on
Hmm.
her, scaring her at a bar.
She been doing it
How
like
did your
over the last couple.
what did your niece say that she felt about that situation?
She's scared. My niece is still scared. For over the last couple of years, she done did it to her. She done did it about four or five times, if not six times. And for some reason, she only do it to her. She only do it to her. And it scares her really, really bad.
So let's just put up some of these documents for a second, okay? Because you sent them and we want to be able to show them as you desire, okay?
Okay. All right.
And you just cover them quickly, if you will, okay?
Okay. Okay.
What are we looking at here? Ohio Crime Victim Justice Center document.
Okay. I can't see it. You got it up?
Yeah.
Okay, I can't really see it. Oh, okay, that one. That is from well, it say Denise, but it's from Kathy Lee, a lady that worked with the Ohio Crime Victim Center that met me over at the investigator's office years ago, probably about 8, 9, 10 years ago, and wanted to talk to me and my niece about the case and said she was gonna help. And after all this time, she just wrote me and said if I still need some help, she'll help me. But one thing she did do that's good, she sent me back my brand new packet that she had for all them years, never been touched.
So that's just something that you wanted to share with me. Why do you think that this document's important in the situation?
Because she wanted to help me, and for some reason she didn't. But at the same token, she kept that packet, and she had that packet for years, and it got all the tapes in there that's been taken from me, that's never been touched.
So you talked about how they removed information not knowing that you had copies of everything.
Right.
And you're talking about the police.
Yes.
Okay. And those documents were removed and they didn't know you had a copy. Then you try to
Right.
get back in touch with them to say, hey, what do you think about the new evidence? And someone said, tell her that they're burned.
That's right.
Well, guess what?
They're not
She made a
burned.
copy. How do you like that?
Yeah, I got the copies. I got
So
original
you
copy.
still have the original copy, and you gave them a copy, not trusting the situation because of how you've been dealt with for over 30 years. Okay, let's get to another portion of this. What are we looking at here?
That's a letter where I called 48 hours and Kathleen O'Connell spoke to me over the phone and told me to send information in and that she was interested in everything. So I sent in my packet, my tapes and everything like I do everybody. And she kept the information and then sent me that letter. She said she wanted to say it's like more or less time consuming and money. But you kept my tapes and my information and you never returned them. Even when I asked you to, you never did it. And I don't want to feed into nothing or put nothing into anything.
Sure.
But I believe that a tape was made out of my sister's murder.
What, a video?
Yeah.
Why do you believe that?
Because I seen it on TV and it just seemed like it was it.
You mean from back then?
It just seemed like all the information that people got or she had or whatever, you know how you can do stuff and just use other people and characters and stuff, you know. But when you listen from doing something for so long, you about know. So when I heard it on the
TV, can't
TV,
teach you that in the books. It comes on the street.
right. So right. So when I heard it, it caught my attention. And I was like, that sounds like that's my sister case. They just using different people.
Let's bring up some of these other documents. You described them, okay?
Okay.
What are we looking at here? Another.
That's from the Ohio Justice where he wrote me. and said she was sorry and asked me about the 911 tape and asked me if I could have it enhanced so she can hear it a little better. But she already know I got them enhanced.
So you have the audio recordings. Not only that, we've
Mm-hmm.
taken them to a professional studio and had the audio enhanced.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So what are we looking at here? Ace
That's Ace.
Investigations.
Oh yeah, that's Marty D. Yance, the one that said he was going to help me and came out there and charged me $500 and never did no work. And then he wrote me a letter and said it wasn't nothing he could do because the people's story is the same. And I said, okay. He never once went and investigated the case. And then
but he got $500 for it.
he said he needed it to go to Dayton. He said he needed $500 to be able to start the investigation, and he would have to go to Dayton and speak to the people.
Let's get to this document. And for either way that you look at this, it's an opportunity for you to still find an opportunity for someone to reach out to you and have an opportunity to speak something that you've been silenced with dealing with.
Yes.
So I know this is difficult, so we'll just go over the documents.
Okay.
What is this one right here?
That is the initial police report from the first officer, which should be Officer Gordon, when he arrived on the scene. He said when he arrived on the scene that he was approached by a black male later identified as so-and-so, so-and-so, that they said they saw who did it and said she ran in there and pointed to the house. So my question to them was, if he said he seen who did it and they ran in there, that let you know it was outside.
And she
And why
ran in
didn't
there.
Uh-huh.
And your body, where was your sister's body found?
It was found like 4 doors down, slumped up in the door of somebody else's house.
Not in the house where not in the
Right.
house where the
Nope.
murderer lived, if you will.
Nope.
So she was outside.
She was outside, and on that tape,
and with her 5-year-old daughter.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And she had no weapons to be found.
No weapons. And on the tape, that's how her and the dispatcher got into it. She told the lady my sister had a pistol. And the lady wanted to know how she knew. So it made her and the dispatcher start arguing. And so the dispatcher told her to hold on for a minute because I'm getting another call. And when she got another call, the call must have been from the neighbor saying what they see. So
Calling
she got
back again.
Hmm.
Calling back again or for the first time?
The neighbor was the first time calling.
The neighbor was the first time caller. So all the way back, now we're revisiting the situation of the night of the incident. After the neighbor called, the perpetrator, if you will, called on herself. And what did she say?
Wait a minute. What it was, the perpetrator was on the phone with the police, but she never once told them of a stabbing or anything. She just kept saying she had been in a fight. So while she was on the phone with the police, another call came into the dispatcher, the same lady that was talking to her. And they was telling that they seen somebody out there getting stabbed or had been stabbed. And so the lady get back on the phone with the suspect and say,
the dispatcher gets back on with the suspect and
right,
says,
you can tell, yeah, on the tape, if you hear the tape I got, you can tell how it went down. She tell her, well, I got a call coming from next door, using the address though, more or less, saying it's a stabbing. Do you know anything about it? And the suspect say, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
Wow. And this is, so the police at that time say, yo, you're actually the person who could have done this.
Right. Don't say,
do you know anything about a stabbing? And her
right.
reaction was, no, I know nothing about a stabbing.
And it's on the tape. It's on the tape. She say, no, I got it on tape. She say, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And then whoever in the house tell her, whoever in the house say something. because it make her get another way. So then the lady say, well, what's going on? She was like, I was hit, and she keep on stumbling over her words, right? And then she say, and she got a pistol. And the lady say, a pistol? How you know?
Yeah.
And then she
The
didn't know what
dispatcher
to say
said
no
a
more.
pistol. How do you know?
Yeah, the dispatch asked her, how do you know
And
she
what did
got
she
a,
say?
she didn't know what to say. So she told the lady to hold on. And the lady told her, well, hold on for a minute too. And in the process of them doing that, that's when I heard in the background, I shouldn't have never went outside. I stabbed her like this. And you can be the witness if they say anything. He came down to my house. I got that on tape. That's what the sergeant came out to my house and heard. That what
So
tape is missing.
the missing tape
It's a
says what again?
confession.
Speak eloquently. And
The missing tape says, girl, I didn't mean to go outside. Speaking to whoever on the inside, which is on my papers. But I stabbed her like this. You could tell it was the final stab. If she say anything, you gonna be the witness that she came down here to my house. I got that on tape.
I've listened to the
That's,
audio tape, and that is
I
what it
got,
says.
that's exactly what it say.
So she's
Yeah,
just admitting to
yeah. And it
pursuing
was,
and attacking someone, and
yeah,
that
it's
someone was your
after the
sister,
fact.
and she slit her
Right.
all over.
Yeah, that's abuse of a corpse. And then even if something did go on and went wrong down there, and my sister was at your house, even though you lured her down there, if she got out your house, why would you pursue her and cut her head off? I mean, well, cut her neck like that. You already had stabbed her 3 times.
Yep.
Why would you do that?
What's this portion of the document? Is this a different document or extension of the
No,
one we
that's
just looked
just
at?
that's the rest of the initial report from the first officer. Because he said that he asked did she have any weapons, and she told him no, and then turned to the girl that was in the house and said, get the knife out the basket. No, get the knife off the table. And she said, here it is right here in the basket. And the police officer said she gave him the knife and gave him a black handle knife. Then another officer came on the scene about probably 7 minutes later, and the same girl in the same house that's supposed to be the witness gave him a knife. So it was 2 knives turned in, but both of them is missing out of the property room and can't be
Two
found.
knives were turned in.
Yes, 2 knives were turned in.
Do you think potentially there could have been 2 people attacking your sister?
You know, sometimes you wonder. And then for her to stab her 3 times, darn near decapitate her head, because one she wouldn't have if I just ain't got no understanding of that. I
So
mean, my
they
sister,
nearly decapitated your sister.
yes. Anytime you get cut 4 inches deep in your larynx and it go up towards your eye and leave your eye wide open even for the funeral, then they say it was withdrawn and took in another direction, which went over to the left. And they said severed her trachea in half. Then they said her voice box was cut out. Come on, that is a act of I don't know what demon. I don't know.
Hmm.
That's rage, that's hate, that's anger. You know, that's abuse of a corpse. After you stabbed her 3 times, wasn't no need to go back and do that.
Right.
And I just can't believe I got
And this
all
person
the
has no wounds on him but a little bump
oh,
on the
she
head.
had a bump. She had a bump on her head that the medic said that night after he checked her, he said she required no attention.
Where did she say the bump came from?
You know what? She said my sister hit her with a bottle. But when you think about it, it looked like it's a swoop knot. You know how you be trying to hold somebody down? It looked like she was trying to hold my sister because she said they fought in that house. No fault never went on in that house. My sister was just trying to get out of there because, like her daughter said, earlier that day, they must have had an altercation or something around 6:15. It's even in the report. He say she called the police. No, you called the police at 8:12 after the murder. You
Hmm.
never called them at 6:15 because in the initial report, she said she walked down the street to see, and mom's was down there, which means my mother.
Yeah.
So as soon as my mother left, you did that act. So that let me know whatever went on at 6, you didn't get to finish what you started because my mother was there. So if y'all would have fought like that at
So
6, or
she came over when your mom was there with your
yeah,
sister
my
that
mom
same
was,
day earlier. That same day earlier, and then
yes,
they
yes,
did. Was there an altercation then?
yes, but it didn't get the breakout. I guess the way
It
she,
wasn't. It wasn't like a physical fight,
right, it wasn't no physical fight,
and
not
it
the
was
way,
because your mother was there that
right,
nothing happened.
right.
And then later on, they come back. And how far from your sister's place was her body found?
My sister lived like one, she was like one, probably about 6 or 7 doors down
So
from
in a
her
small
house.
apartment complex, 6 or 7 doors down. Your
Okay,
sister's
my
leaving
sister
with her
had a
daughter that
house.
night, and boom.
Yeah, my sister had a house. And once you come out the house and cross over the alley, it was a row of apartments. So my sister was initially down on the end apartment. And her daughter said that the girl came down there and told her telephone. And I said, if they fought like cats and dogs, I know my sister wouldn't go down there to the phone an hour later.
Right.
So she said that her mom told her to go in the house. She'd be right back. She said when her mom went to go out the door, she said, I slipped out the door with her, Aunt Karen, and I walked down there. She said the girl was walking down the sidewalk. She said she walked in. She said she walked in her door and left her door wide open. She said my mom walked in and I walked in behind my mom. She said my mom went through to the middle room and bent down to get the phone. She said and that lady stabbed my mom in the chest.
Mm.
And it happened just like that. And then she, you know why that blood on the back of her like that? Because after you stabbed her, you thought she was gone, but she thought about she got to get out of there and get her daughter out of there. That's why you got perfect blood spots on your back. How did you get perfect blood spots on your back? And then when you seen my sister, you didn't
So
pin her.
there was on the suspect's clothing, there was blood splatter on her back.
Right, perfect blood splats, like as if, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. Perfect blood splats on her back. And I said, how did she get blood splats on her back like that? I got pictures. And the police told her she can retain her clothes and take them home. Wasn't no need for them to keep them. I got that on paper.
What happened in the court situation from this event back then, to your
Nobody
knowledge?
never been to court.
Huh?
Ain't nobody never been to court. Ain't nobody ever been to court or did nothing.
So
Nothing
there was
ever
never a
happened.
court hearing in regards to your sister's death.
Nope, not that I know of.
So that night, the officers played judge, jury, persecutioner, and protector
Yes. Yes. Yes.
when their job's just to perhaps do protection. So,
Yes.
and you feel like ever since then, even with the mountain of evidence that you feel, you're still not getting justice in something that is clear, cut, and dry.
Right. That's right. And I would love for justice to be served. I mean, I got facts. I'm not assuming nothing. I'm not making up nothing. I got facts with her saying it out her own mouth, how she killed my sister like that and
Yeah.
how she gonna cover it up.
And now she's
And so,
stalking your
yeah,
sister's daughter,
yeah,
the 5-year-old that was there that day.
yeah. She can see her anywhere and run up on her. She might even, sometime I wonder if she look her up to see where she at or find her to go pick with her like she do. She done been on her jobs and everything. Just pop up.
She goes to her jobs.
Yeah, like she did,
What
like
are,
my
yeah,
niece.
please. What are the
I
other
can't
events?
remember
We
what
covered a bar
job where if my
situation.
niece was on, if my niece, she could check. But my niece then had a couple of jobs. She'd just pop up in there. But this is what get me. He always remind her who she is. What is that for?
I can just imagine the pain that has to cause. I mean,
You know,
so clearly something needs to change in the situation, you know. And this
I
is
had
just
a
the
cold
beginning
case.
for you. So
Yeah,
going
I had a
public with the
cold case.
situation, the audio can be made publicly available. Um,
Yeah,
I've listened to the audio. What else would you like to say in regards to this incident?
I would love for justice to be served for my sister and for her kids to be all right. You know, that didn't bother them all their life. Even me too, but I'm strong about a lot of things. But I just think it's so sad that somebody can brutally murder someone and the system don't care and don't nobody care and you still got the truth. They got unsolved homicides out here. Don't know nothing about them, can't find nothing about them. So for me to have a homicide and information on one and facts that lock the person up that did it, why can't they do their job?
Right. Well,
That's my question. Why is it so hard for them to do their job? And why is it that every time I speak about my sister, the police want to shut me down, treat me like you know what, just overlook everything until I got that tape. Then when they seen I had that tape, they wanted to be a friend for a day. And after that day, they went right back to normal when they thought they took all the information. So
right,
now they find out I still got a tape from when I went down there to that homicide class and they didn't shed the cold case detective, Detective Patay. I think his
right.
name is Patay. They didn't shut him down from talking to me. He won't even answer his phone.
Hmm.
Everybody just backs out. And what it is somebody just really do need to do what's right. That
And
tape.
what do you think that would be? What would you like to see done in this situation?
I would like to see her go to jail. That's my heart's desire to see her go to jail for murder that she thought she got away with, because she really believes she got away with it.
Now she's stalking the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not something to take lightly. So,
Hey, how can oh, okay.
you know, how
I'm not
but please,
gonna
I'm not here to stop you from talking. You know,
okay.
whatever events took place in this, um, I want you to come just speak your heart, and this is your opportunity to tell people what you've been dealing with. And we're not here to hate the police. We're
Right,
not here to hate the justice system. We're not here to hate anyone. Um,
right,
but we're also not here to sugarcoat what people experience.
right.
Um, and to do justice is to love kindness. And I think that the family you deserve closure in this situation. You
Yes.
know, I'm not inciting you to be violent. I think you should be peaceful and move forward continually. Um,
Yes.
and the way that things are going doesn't seem like it's getting any smoother,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So,
If it's just one honest person down there in the Columbus Police Department, won't they step up and come forward and do what's right for once? Because I done spoke to plenty of detectives and people down there, and they all seem to know to get smart, get scared, or hide the truth. I don't have no understanding.
hmm, well, I think it should have at least gone to a judge and perhaps a jury to decide what they felt the situation was.
Mhm. I went
Um,
down to the prosecutor's office. They said the case never been prosecuted.
so the case had never been prosecuted, never brought up.
That's what they told me.
Hmm.
But the police told me it went to the grand jury and it was ruled as self-defense. And I asked them, self-defense, how can you get it out of that was a
So you
brutal
didn't even know about the situation. You were never a character witness.
nope,
What about your mother?
nope,
You didn't even know it was taking place.
nope.
So what a defense, right?
Yep.
You know, there are
Sad.
leniency documentaries and settlement brochures that could have been produced in video to get families evidence of character witness to say what kind of person
Mhm.
your sister was. And we haven't gone over that.
Yeah.
What kind of person was your sister?
She was she was like a mom, took care of everybody, cooked for
Yeah.
everybody, made sure everybody was right, clean, go to school, do what you have to. She was like a second mom when my mom had to work. The sweetest person in the world. Wasn't gonna hurt a fly. You know what I'm saying? She
Yeah.
just believed in what was right and being on us for what was right and what was wrong. She believed in us. We just had to learn to believe in ourselves.
So she was clean. She
Mm-hmm.
was a mother who took
Yes.
care of her child,
Yes.
and she was
She took care of us
brutally
before her
attacked.
children was born.
She what?
She took care of us before her children was born from
What
being
do
a
you mean?
mother's helper. You know, it was like she was a mother to us too in her own way. When my mom went to work and stuff, she cooked, clean, take care of us, make sure we up on time for school and everything. She was like just a mom.
Yeah, it was your older sister, right?
Yes.
Hmm. Can you see her picture up right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And life is priceless. And to bring up these situations, it's not easy,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So
I just hope somebody reach out and listen to the information I got, because I sure appreciate and love you for even taking the time, because I'm telling you, some justice need to be served in this situation. It's been a long time.
yeah,
And she know the truth like I know the truth now, like the police know the truth now. Now people out there know the truth. And it's a lot of people that know I've been following my sister's murder for so long, just figuring out why and how. And then when I do get information, they shut you down and treat you like crap.
yeah.
Yeah, a lawyer told me that with that information, with her incriminating herself on that tape like that, that they can go pick her up and put her in jail right now.
Say that again.
I spoke with a lawyer and he said if I got a tape with her confessing that, that's her incriminating herself. And they can go pick her up right now and put her in jail. But they took the tape. And I got that tape with her incriminating herself. It was after the fact.
It's even after the fact. You have new recordings.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I don't know how cassette tapes came up missing out of public records downtown when I've been getting them over the last 17 to 20 years. All of a sudden they just missing.
Right. Yeah, I think we brought that
Mm-hmm.
document up, but I'm not sure that we have. So let's
Mm-hmm.
maybe look for it. Okay.
Okay.
What's this document? Can you see it?
That's the one where they told her she can retain her clothing when they should have kept the blood clothing.
So, the suspect that night, they sent her home after doing an interview or interrogation, if you will, with all of her bloody clothes on still.
Yes.
And she was drenched in blood from front to back.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to make sure we went over these documents
Okay.
because there was a few that you sent.
Okay.
What was this?
This is telling how she was stabbed in the neck, then stabbed in the chest, and in the arm, and in the leg. Them the report of the findings of how it was done. That's the part that tell about how her trachea was severed and her voice box was cut out. Yeah. And everything was abrupt into the main line. Like she knew where to stab her, where to hit her, and how to do it to make her bleed out. Yeah.
Um,
Like he
we
said, it
may
was
have gone over some of these
unremarkable.
documents. Go ahead. What's that?
I said, no, like he said, it was unremarkable. You know, I called the guy and he
Who
told me
said
he
it was
thought
unremarkable?
doctor, the pathologist. What's his name?
The guy who did
Who
perform the
did?
autopsy, correct?
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
told you. I called him. He told me he thought somebody went to jail. And you see how the paper you just went back to, they had her for first degree murder, and then she
That's
went.
from the coroner's office. It says murder first degree.
Right, that's from the police department.
That's from the police department.
Uh-huh. Then they changed it. When you go over to the next one, you'll see where it says self-defense issues. See right there where they tried to say self-defense issues. That's when I called them and asked
Self
them, start
defense
asking,
issues.
right. And that's when I called them and asked them what was the self-defense issues, and they said they didn't have enough information.
And you've spoken to the Department of Justice, correct?
Yes.
And what did they say?
Uh, you talking about when I went to Cincinnati?
I'm just asking who you've reached out to in total in this.
You said what now? The code on it.
No, I'm asking who else you've spoken to. Just cover
Oh,
who
I
you've
spoke
spoken
to
to. This is your opportunity.
murdered. I spoke to murdered families, murdered mothers of murdered victims down in Cincinnati, and
You also
they
spoke to 48 hours.
yeah, I spoke to 48 hours. I spoke to Al Sharpton. I spoke to uh well, Ace Investigations Confidential, Kathy Lee. I got a couple more people I spoke to, Mr. Wolf. I have to look and find their names. Yeah.
Okay. And it's just been ongoing, and now you have fresh evidence,
Mm-hmm.
and it's
Mm-hmm.
still not going anywhere. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, they retrieved the evidence and then said the evidence was burnt to you on the phone, and then put up that the evidence was missing.
Right. You got a one. Do you have a paper with a star on it, like on the side of it?
You know, I don't think that I do here.
You do. It's the one. It's the one I sent you with the where it say original cassette tapes missing.
I know I read the document and I can attest to that, but I don't see it.
You don't see it,
Mm-mm.
like right
Flip
there.
through. That's not it, right?
Nope.
Just
It's
flip through with me here.
okay.
So we're looking for evidence and other things that we've reviewed earlier, but just go ahead and tell us what the document says, if you will, because you have it still.
It says that the cassette tapes are missing,
And this is
and I
after you
wanted
just gave them the evidence.
right, right. Yes. Here it is right here. It says the audio cassette tapes. No, the audio cassettes are missing, but there are paper versions included in this pack. But they never give you the paper version, because to give me the paper version would be telling what's on the tape. And they ain't gonna do it, because that's the case. They wouldn't have took the tape from me. It
Right.
say original cassette
But you
tapes
have
are
the case, you have the information. So to make a call to action, what would you like to say to anybody that might be able to help you reach out into the situation, take legal action, do an investigation? Either way, it's public now, and it's not sugar coated.
oh, okay.
What would you like to say?
I would like to say anyone that listen to me and you discuss the little bit we discussed and talked about. If they want to help me out or participate or listen to my evidence or my information, will you please get in touch with me? And anybody that know me that's seeing this or know anything about that night, please get in touch and tell whatever you know or whatever can help out. But if I be honest with you, I feel like that tape with her confession is enough. I just need somebody to do what's right, and help me to be able to do what I need to do. Because I don't know what to
Yeah.
do just having the tape and knowing I know what I know and not being able to get help from the people that should be helping me, the police. I just don't have no understanding. They act real ugly sometimes. They get real smart. They be rude and stuff. I need somebody that just believe in the truth like I believe in the truth and want to see justice done.
Yeah, and it's been a long time,
Yeah,
and it's
since 1985.
yeah. And in some ways the wound may never heal. So,
Right.
but in other ways it'll create you to be a stronger person because
That's right.
those who we hold in our hands for a short while, we hold in our hearts forever.
Say it again.
I really believe
That's
that.
the truth.
But I just wanted you to have an opportunity to share your story as you desired and be here because, you know, I understand
I'm
it
gonna
may be
be honest.
difficult.
I'm kind of nervous.
Right. Well, that's why I help.
Nervous.
I'm here with you.
Yeah.
But any last words in regards to the situation?
Yes, I would like to say thank you very much, and I would like to say if the person that was inside that house see this or hear this, do what's right and come forth. And if anybody that believe in the truth the way I believe in it and know I got facts and information that can do what's right by my sister, please help me out. All I want is justice. I just would like to see justice in this situation. That's all. That's all I want to see. That's all I want to see is to let her know that you didn't get away with what you planned because you even planned it, thought you got away, but then you told on yourself.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
this person knew your family. And adding
Yes,
up to the situation, she kept calling your mom as a friend saying, you can't get in trouble if you kill someone in your house, right?
right, right. She would come over my mom's house all the time and be with my one sister sometime and would always say, Mom, if you kill somebody in your house, you can't get in trouble now, can you? And my mom always used to say, No, honey, not if they in your house. She always used to say that. I even got people that know that they
So
heard her
and then
say,
yeah, and then so there's witnesses, numerous witnesses who can attest to that.
yes.
Um, but in the recording, she says something. Go. What did she say in the recording, which contradicted what she was trying to say?
What did she say in the recording?
Yeah,
She said that she didn't mean to go outside. That's what you're talking about.
she didn't mean to go outside.
This is exactly what the tape say.
Okay.
I'm gonna just say this part. I ain't gonna say the part about them arguing. Her. She tell the dispatch my sister got a pistol, and the lady wanted to know
No
how.
pistol was ever found. None of that jazz. She was
They
with her
never
5-year-old daughter.
investigated it.
Okay.
Right. It's
What did
not
her
even
statement say?
it don't say nothing about no pistol. It's never been talked about or nothing. That's how you know the tape
Right.
was never heard.
Right.
But on
But
the tape, she clearly tell that she went outside. She said,
correct.
she said like this, girl, I didn't mean to go outside, but I stabbed her like this. And that like this, it seemed like it's just the final part, you know. She said, and
That leads up to premeditated, perhaps.
right, right. She said, I didn't mean to go outside, but if she say anything, you can be the witness, okay, that she came down here. So you see that right there getting me too, because you keep saying like she was at your house or she bust in your door, she did all this, that, and the other. But you clearly tell on the tape, tell the girl you gonna be the witness that she came down here.
Yeah.
That right there kind of bothered me too, because
And
that's
now it's
weird.
leading to the daughter that
Mm-hmm.
was 5 years old then.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So
I don't have no understanding why they put all them coats and hats on her head and tucked her up by that door. Her other daughter was inside the house. And she said, Aunt Karen, they kept opening the door, stepping all around my mom and stuff. They just had her laying out there on the porch, putting, the other daughter was inside the house, seeing them keep opening the door, walking around her, stepping around her. All this is before they called the police.
Jesus.
Yeah. The one daughter walked down there and seen what happened. The other daughter was in the house with the where my sister's body was found
So
at.
your daughter had Your sister had two
She
daughters.
got 3 daughters. She
Three
got 3
daughters.
daughters. And 2 of them was with her that night. One walked with her down there. And she said they kept pushing the kitchen, telling her, stay in the kitchen, stay in the kitchen. And she said the whole time her mom was laying out there. She sure was. That's why they kept telling you to stay in that kitchen. Yeah. After I listened to them, after they got a little older and could talk about it, did my investigation and not figured it out, but everything came together. It's just sad. It's sad.
It is sad.
It's sad. It's sad. It's
Well, what
sad.
happens in the dark needs to be brought into the light. And that's what this is all
That's the
about.
truth.
It's an opportunity to be a light. And, the world's got it mixed up. But I think if you seek justice, you love kindness.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes open rebuke is the truest form of love, because it's honestly, it's about looking at the way that things are going in our society, the way that we approach situations, and how we can learn from these situations so we have a better world. And that encourages us to be a better person, because if I seek anything, it's to change from the inside out.
Thank you. That's me too. Thank you. The best change you can make.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and there's no such thing as a perfect person, so don't get it twisted, right?
Say it again. Right.
So, but look, I love you deeply.
I love you too.
Any closing
I'm
thoughts
so
on this?
grateful just for your time, for you taking the minute with me, to do this.
Sure.
And I just hope and pray to God that somebody listen for once and do what's right and let justice be done. That's all I pray.
Let justice be done.
Yes. Excuse me. Yes. I mean, I got the truth, and it is the truth. Somebody should step up to the plate and do what's right. While they in position to do what's right. Hope God lay it on somebody's heart in that department to just step out and believe in themselves as well as in Him and do what's right. And that's where the change can start.
Yeah. Love you, darling.
I love you too.
May justice be glorified.
Yes. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Yes. Amen. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. We talked about
Yeah.
that. Boom.
Right.
So,
Boom.
do justice, love kindness, and walk humbly.
Yes.
Together we're limitless.
Yes.